I will explain improvement in food resources. This chapter I will explain in two parts. Today we will discuss improvement in crop yield. Now the question comes that what is the need for such kind of improvement? Because there is an increase in the population. Second, there is no scope for the increasing area of land for the cultivation. So we have to work on the two heads, that is in agriculture practices and in animal husbandry, to increase in the food resources. We have to do all these practices in a way that our environment should not harm and it should not disturb our ecosystem, and that practices are called sustainable practices. First we should know about the types of crops, then only we can apply all the techniques to increase the production. Then on the basis of monsoon or their required conditions of weather, it can broadly classified into kharif and rabi crop. Kharif crop, it is planted in the June and it is harvested in October. For example, rice, so they are planted during the monsoon season. Rabi crop, they are planted in November and harvested in April. So in between these two major seasonal crops, we can grow other plants also, some vegetables that are called jaid. Okay, so we can go for the improvement of crop production by knowing their habits. Now what we can do for the crop variety improvement? There are the two major techniques. Number one is hybridization, that we combine the characters of two different varieties or species which are genetically different to get a perfect hybrid. Okay, so we can interbreed of the same variety, same species, or even we can go for such kind of cross between different two species, and they are called intervarietal, interspecific and intergeneric respectively. Second method to get a good variety of crop is genetically modified crop. Here the crop is improved by introducing a gene that would provide desired character. Now, crop variety improvement, what are the various factors on which we can improve the crop either by hybridization or by genetically modified method? So we can work on the high yield. We can increase the productivity of the crop. So we can make such kind of hybrid. Second, we can improve the quality, like in case of oil extracting crops, we can increase the quality and quantity of oil in that. We can work on the protein quality in pulses, so we can improve the quality. Third, biotic and abiotic resistance. The crop production is decreased only due to the diseases. Biotic factor, lots of biotic factor like diseases, insects, pests, and abiotic factor like heat, cold, drought, etc. So we can produce a crop variety that is resistant to these stress and cannot affect the production. Next, we can work on the change in maturity pattern. If a crop need 8 months or 9 months to be mature, and if we reduce its maturity time from 9 months to 6 months, then we will get the 3 months in between the two major crops. So we can work on it, we can shorter the maturity period, and it will be helpful to increase the overall production. Next, wider adaptability. One variety can be grown under different climatic conditions in different areas. If we increase its wider adaptability for abiotic and biotic factors, okay, then we will able to get good production from the same kind of crop from different regions. Next, and very important one, that is desirable agronomic character. For example, tallness and profuse branching are very nice character for fodder crop that we have to use to feed the cattle. but it is not a good character for a cereal crop. In case of cereal, dwarfness will be the desired character. So we can develop the variety to get the higher productivity by taking these desirable characters in the hybrid. Next, how we can increase the production. Second step we can take, that is crop production management. In this first step we can take about the nutrient management. Plants need about 16 nutrients to proper growth and development. Out of these, they are getting carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen from the air, water and soil. The nutrients which are required in higher amount, that is called macronutrients, and they are the 6 macronutrients, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium and magnesium. Other 7 nutrients are required in a smaller amount, that is called micronutrients. So their proper growth and development, to get the good production, we have to provide all these nutrients, and there is a need to manage the nutrient, and this can be done with the help of manure and fertilizers. Manure, we can go for the compositing. Whatever the remains of farmyard or from the home, we can convert it into the compost, or we can use earthworm, and that process is called vermicompositing. Even we can use the green manure, for example sun hemp or guar. These plants are grown, they are leguminous plant, and they have rhizobium bacteria in their root nodules, which convert the nitrogen into nitrates that is required for the plant growth and development. After their harvesting of products, they mulch in the soil during the plowing, and they increase the nitrogen content of the soil. That's why they are called green manure. We can also use the fertilizers. These are the chemicals. They provide the required nutrient to the plant, so increase the productivity, but they have lots of disadvantage. As they are chemical, they dissolve in the water and create water pollution. They also decrease the soil fertility. So we should adopt the concept of organic farming, where we should minimize the use of chemicals such as fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides, and should adopt the method that should not harm our environment, like use of manure and some use of manure and green manure and biofertilizers and bio methods to destroy the weeds and pests. Next, production management. We can apply proper irrigation systems. Irrigation system, we can use wells. They are of maybe two type, dug wells and tube wells. We can use the river lift system, tanks, canals, drip system, sprinkles for the proper supply of water for the proper growth and development. Like these are the photos which are showing the wells, tube wells used in Indian agriculture technique. This is a system, traditional as well as modern one, where we can use the water of river. Then such kind of area can be formed to store the runaway water, like tanks. All these techniques not only provide the water for the agriculture, this tanks technique and the next water harvesting system, they also enrich the groundwater level. So check dams is another technique that is used to stop the runaway water. It also stop the soil erosion, and it increase the groundwater level, and water is available throughout the year. Next technique we can adopt for the improvement in crop production, that is cropping patterns. We can use this technique. It minimizes the chances of failure of any crop and a surety of some production to the farmers. Like you can observe here, there are the two crops are using. One are the very large one and another are the smaller one in between. If any one crop is infested by any pest, then we have the second crop on hand to utilize. So it is very advantageous. Next, we can go for particular way to grow two or more crops at a time in a single piece of land in a particular rows. When we are growing the crop in particular rows, it is called intercropping. And again, the benefits, if there is a chances of failure of one crop, we have another crop on hand, and it work as a very good barrier for the infection of pathogen of one crop, because in between there are 4 to 5 rows of another crop which stop the spreading of that pest or even of the pathogen. Next very good technique in the crop production management is crop rotation. Every crop has their own need of nutrients, and we should grow various crop one after the other in a single piece of land to maintain the fertility of soil. So this is a flow chart that represent how we can grow the different crops in a single piece of land. After this, when we are all using the good variety hybrids and production management, but at the same time we have to protect the crops, because a lots of biotic and abiotic factors affect the crop production. First is the weeds. Weeds are the unwanted plant that grow in that piece of land, and they fight for the space, nutrients and light, so they affect the production of our crop. Examples are like this: xanthium and parthenium. They grow very quickly and take the nutrient from the soil. So second, we have the insect pests. They attack on the plants. They cut the root, stem or leaf. Second, they can suck the cell sap of various parts. Third, they bore into the stem and fruits, and thus they affect our production. Like this, you can observe these are the insects which consume all the parts of the plant, and definitely it will affect the crop production. Next, some pathogen microbes like bacteria, fungus, viruses, they also causes disease in plants. You can see in the photograph there is a picture which is done by the infection of these pathogen, and we have to control all these weeds, pest and pathogen. We can use herbicide, pesticide, fungicides for that, but the prevention is always better than cure. So the method that can be used, that it is we can also use this manual removing or fumigation, but always there is preventive method are very good. That is we can prepare the soil. Okay, the soil preparation should be proper, plowing should be proper and deep during the summer. It remove the weeds and pests. Timely sowing of the crop, intercropping and crop rotation are helpful in weed control. Okay, so we should use this technique for the prevention of weeds and pests instead of using fumigation, and then we need the manual work to remove the weeds. Next, after the harvesting, even the grains we get by this method, by applying all these curing method, but at the time of their storage they can also affected by various biotic and abiotic factors like insects, rodents, fungus, mites, bacteria. Abiotic factor, moisture, temperature, that should be according to grain, so they affect the grain, they degrade the quality of grain, loss in weight, poor germinating. So definitely it will affect the market value. So you can see in the photographs how the grains can be affected by all these things. So there is a need, prevention should be there. There should be cleaning of produce before storage, drying of the produce first in sunlight and then in shade to reduce the moisture content. Next, fumigation using chemicals to kill the pests. Like this, we can go for the fumigation and protection of storage material. All these techniques can be adopted to increase the crop production. Thank you.